Good morning. All right. Definitely got a lot of notes going on today. Oh, I love that shit. Uh, I work at some weed stores, and yeah, my boss he named one of the weed stores Memento Mori, and he named a couple of the other ones. What goes along with that, I don't recall. But I love that shit for real. I think one of the topics I was going to talk about this morning is yeah, having to face that uncomfortability sooner or later. Like it says, you must die to remember you must live. Yeah, and I would associate that to the having to feel that uncomfortability now and then. What is it like? Oh yeah, choose my own pain or whatever. Like if I come out here and push myself in the morning, then I'm like choosing that discomfort in a way, and then maybe I won't be bombarded by discomfort later on. I don't know if that's some real shit, but I like that. Let's see, I got a bunch of shit written down here. Transformation. There's something really interesting here. Let me find it. One thing about anxiety is I couldn't even realize how much anxiety I used to have until the anxiety was gone. And then I couldn't even realize exactly what anxiety is or was until the absence of it. It's just fucking nuts. This morning, just waiting to come out here, it's my first day off work, and man, the mental chatter was like way stronger than the last couple days, and just trying to talk myself out of it or being like, just trying to remain comfortable and just have to push through that bullshit to get myself out here. And then it's like that's where the peace is or something for me. Yeah, I did a new song recently called Fear Hunter, and just really been digging that idea lately. This idea of fear, and especially the really subtle fears that can control our choices. Yeah. This whole like inner child thing, it's been really in my forefront lately, and um, I was reminded that like when I was younger and would trip out a little, and like do some hallucinating, um, I would I'd get into this state that felt like, oh, this is wrong. Like people aren't like this and shit. And only now can I realize that was like my inner child just fucking being completely free of the mind, all the fucking whatever that's came before. And only now that I'm like getting to this, to like realize it in this different way, can I understand that that's what was happening back then. It's pretty fucking amazing. I know when I would hallucinate when I was young, I would like have all these ideas about it, but these unsure kind of ideas. And now that I'm like 42 and everything's kind of like I found this certain peace, then all those things that I kind of thought, it's like I can see now that yeah, there was a lot of truth to those things I was thinking. Something that's similar to that is like I always thought that in music, these fucking masters of music were hiding fucking like important information in their songs. And and yeah, I've reached this ultimate perspective, this inner peace where I can see that yeah, they are doing that. But it's not exactly like I thought it was. But that is what's going on. It's not necessarily so much being hidden in the music. It was hidden to me, but the reason that it was hidden isn't necessarily because they were hiding it. It's more so because I was viewing from the wrong perspective. And that's one of the real interesting things about perspective. It's like if you journey far enough and find a perspective, someone would have to journey to that same point to get that perspective. So in a way it can be hidden in that way. Like, you make sure somebody has to go through fucking tough work to fucking to get the prize type shit, I guess. Alright, blah blah blah. Let's move on. Yeah, I'll just mention real quick about this daily practice that I do and the tools and the gifts, the spirit world. What I've come to realize is that the spirit world mirrors reality, and that anything in reality like this, there should be an equal in the spirit world, a mirroring type shit. Like my yoga mat here was like the first thing I did this what they call the pencil stretch, and like when I did that, I was like I've been doing it for a few weeks, and when I did that pencil stretch, I got such an amazing, pleasant feeling that I was like hooked at that point. But right when that happened, in my mind flashed, I was laying in a canoe, and and so I took that as like this yoga mat in the spirit world is a canoe, and the more I like stay focused in this way, and discipline myself and try to remain conscious like this, using my yoga mat as a tool. It's like in the spirit world that kind of represents floating on this ocean of emotional chaos or whatever the fuck you want to label that as, and so that's easily how it represents the boat, the canoe. So that tool was what got me around for a long time, and then only recently, I've probably been doing it for like 6-8 months, and I had this vision type thing pop up where I arrived to some island, and when I saw the island, I saw there was a very high like mountain with a cave, and that was just what it was. It was just quick flash like that. But yeah, later I was just like thinking about how like the cave on the top of the hill has to do with this wise man and all that shit. And there's just one interesting aspect, but another back to the tool thing is once I arrived to that beach, I the next tool was fire. In the spirit world, it's fire, and in reality, it's represented by the Om, chanting Om. And although I've had the Om shit tattooed here for a long time, it was my wife's first stick poke tattoo. I had it tattooed for a good year and a half or two, and had never actually started chanting Om when I'm doing this type shit. And then a customer came in one day at the weed store and was like, if you chant Om, when you're doing that, it's like, it's a lot better and shit. And I think what they specifically commented on was that it's like makes it all like times 10, or, like that type of idea. So I went home and decided to chant Om, and guess what? When I did that, that's when I had that flash. or at least it was the flash of like seeing fire on that beach. And then what's neat about chanting Om is that, and different than the yoga mat, the canoe, or whatever, is that I can take that Om out into the rest of the world, or it's not just during my daily practice. So when I get a little thrown off, a little off center, try to remember to chant Om, that bring me back to my centered state. This is a little stray cat that showed up. We started feeding her. She's a little sweetie. Oh yeah. I don't know if any of you all follow the moon cycles and shit, but the sturgeon moon, that's like coming up in about 8 days. I think it said August 8th. And there's sturgeon moon talking about like resilience, inner strength, emotional release. Yeah, when I came across this morning about the sturgeon moon and the emotional release aspect, I just realized like that was another thing I never really understood, was how much strength and energy it takes to hold on to something emotional that's happened in the distant past. And that we can just go on holding on to that shit like our whole lives. And it requires a lot of fucking energy. Energy that you can't use in your daily life anymore because it's being used somewhere else. So yeah, as far as the emotional release goes, is like there really is a lot of truth to that. There really is something fucking going on, and yeah, it's worth looking into those tougher things to be able to release those emotions and then get our energy back and be able to apply it to our everyday life. So I want to talk about this idea of the inner child, and also this idea of not becoming aware of things until the absence of that thing. Because that's happened a lot for me in this last little bit, is like the absence of things is when I really can understand what they are and realize what the fuck they were. So the inner child. I lost my train of thought, but the main point of this inner child shit that I want to get to is like, I only recently looked in the mirror and realized one day when I was having a tough time that this part of me was hiding. And the way I was able to realize that was when I looked in my eyes. I could not look in my eyes the same specific way that I'd only recently been able to do. And that's what I mean by not noticing until something, the absence of something, or whatever, is like, I'd never been able to look in my own eyes in the mirror in this certain way, but I never knew I wasn't able to because I'd never done it. So something that came with age or whatever. Now, upon doing that, and being able to look in my eyes this certain way for the first time, I was able to realize later on that that's actually me looking into my eyes like fully type shit. And so when this day came along when I couldn't do that, when I was having a tough time, I was like, what the fuck? I could finally think about it in a little different way. And that's when I realized that, like, oh, it's because part of me is fucking hiding from this tough time that I'm having. In some crazy fucking way or another. You know, hiding behind, like, anger or fear or all these fucking crazy different things that it could be, but super fucking interesting shit. And to note on that or whatever is like, if I am at that point where I can't fucking look into my eyes fully because part of me is hiding in a way or whatever, then I'm not in my centered state. I'm not able to like be in the now as much, the moment or whatever. So it's like, can let me know that's happening or some shit. And yeah, the whole looking in the eyes thing, it's just fucking crazy. It's just fucking crazy. In the absence, learning from the absence of something. And mostly what I'm talking about is the absence of something that's been present your whole life. Such an interesting fucking thing. Anxiety was present my whole life, basically. Maybe not when I was young, that innocence that they say you're supposed to get back to. The hiding fucking child or whatever. Oh yeah. So it was like, I made it out here the last 3 days just great. My, goddamn knee. Gonna have to stretch that motherfucker. Oh yeah, but before this last few days, I had a tough week making it out here. Missed probably like the most days I missed this year. And there at the end, I just had this fucking like, this energy to really stand up to that shit that was keeping me down, and it was like a boost of energy. Turn around, rise up, fucking face that shit head on. And when I was doing that, what I decided to do, oh fuck. What I decided to do was, one of the things was just like, I do 2 sets of 20 push-ups every day. I've been doing that for fucking like 6 months or 4 months, and decided to just push it to 25. Just push it that much harder, like in the face of adversity or whatever, you know. But I think that's something important. All right, fucking stretch this body, fucking, you know. Like the masters say, daily cleansing of the mind and body. One of the ways to cleanse the body is just stretching. basically at the end of my meditation, just laying here by this sweet ass willow tree, and I was reminded that like before I started recording on YouTube and doing these live streams, I was at such an amazing point of consciousness with these trees or some shit. Like, I remember seeing this video. This lady, she was like saying, oh, if you talk to the trees and tell them like that they can touch you, they'll like move their branches and touch you, and she like does it, and I'm kind of caught off guard. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? The tree branch is actually moving and touching her. And later I thought, well, you could you could fake that shit easy or whatever. But before I thought that, there was this moment where I like innocently and genuinely believed that the trees were alive in such a crazy, amazing way that if you talk to them, they could reach over and touch you. And like, then when I realized that like it could be faked, that was gone. But pretty amazing experience what was happening. And then, like a week later, this dude calls himself Bashar, Bashar. I've never really been able to like connect with his wisdom because it was so far away from mine. I had so much to learn still. But I came across this video of him, and he was going on about the trees. And he was painting the picture that the trees are even more alive in the sense than I had perceived, you know? And like, it was just amazing. Definitely amazing and really nice to see. And I mean, after that too, there's this idea of like, what if the trees are like that? If they are, and we're just walking by them every day, not, you know, not acknowledging their presence in a way, or we are. I don't know. It's fucking crazy shit. I know I have a lot of love for trees though. When I look at trees, I just feel a deep connection and a love for them. Yeah, I just love the fresh air. Being out here. I'm like always saying now, you know, this daily practice involves pushing the body and the mind and, you know, silencing the mind. But you also gotta like sit and enjoy it too. Enjoy the moment. So like a third of it or some shit. And that's also why I put these on here, it's just so people can see. You don't gotta do anything crazy. You just gotta take a little time every day and be disciplined about it. And like honest or something. Alright, I got my mind right. I definitely like that expression, but it just reminds me of like real quick before we get out of here. It's like I would use marijuana for so long to get my mind right, and it worked. It does the trick. But until I had this daily practice, I never even knew that I could get my mind this right. This is way beyond anything that we could ever do for it. It gets me the absence of my mind. It's not just my mind right anymore. My mind is absent. And what a peace and relief that brings. Just an hour before, my mind was so annoying and just like chattery and oh, there was something important I wanted to talk about. That's right. This will be the last thing, I think. Fuck. Just forgot it. 2 in the moment, I guess. Here, I wrote it down somewhere. Give me a sec. Alright, I found it. This is like a really easy test that I realized to notice the chatter of the mind, you know? So like I was saying my mind is all chattery this morning and trying to talk me out of coming out here and how do I know that's my mind or me or what the fuck ever, right? Like, so wait till you're feeling really fucking solid, really fucking good, and decide what you want to do, and decide something that's tougher for you. The in this moment of feeling good, you'd be able to do it, but you know, when you're not feeling good, you want to be able to. Or like for me, like getting up early, coming out here every day. Right now, that sounds great, but when I'm getting up, fuck no. This morning, I like kept trying to go back to sleep like 6 times. So, if you decide something like that in a fucking nice centered state like this, and then the morning comes, and all of a sudden you're talking yourself out of it, we already decided. Like right now, I'm deciding that even if it's uncomfortable, this is what I want to do. I know this. But when the morning comes, all of a sudden I let go. That's nowhere to be seen. And that's exactly the mind. I guess I can't say necessarily only the mind, but that definitely brings about the mind chatter. That wanting to remain comfortable or whatever it is. Alright. Have a good day out there. Blessings to you all.